70, aka formerly known as born on 11/9/67. Been a little while since I said that name. Talked to an old friend of mine back in the beginning days of my time on YouTube, which started in 2009, but I was doing nothing of importance at that point. Then 2010. And so shout out to Cory C, and he asked me to make this video. And I think anybody that's been on YouTube for the past decade, if you ever want to make a video like this, what has happened to you in your life in the past 10 years? I thought that was a very interesting concept, and I just got off the phone with him. We haven't spoken in years, so it was really nice to hear the voice. And those of you who've been following my channel know that I used to live in New York. And when I first got onto YouTube, like I said, back in 2009, I was making like cartoonish videos and stuff, and it wasn't going anywhere. And then I saw some people posting videos about their coin collections, and I might get into a car accident. We'll find out. Nope, he slowed down. So I started posting my coin collection. And then people were saying, you know, silver's manipulated, then government's manipulated, and all these things. I started learning all this stuff. And there was this one person that I guess took me under their wing. His name was Jay. And I'll just leave the initial J. Back in the days, you could actually trust YouTube. Gave this person my phone number, talked for like 2 hours, and basically downloaded probably 20 years worth of information in one phone call. Now, most people would have said that was crazy, or they would have dismissed it or laughed it off, whatever. I found it fascinating, and I started researching, and that's when my channel really started talking about the truther movement. And back in those days, there was, you know, I was watching Alex Jones. I was into what I now call fear porn. And that's when I met Cory C and a bunch of others, and I was a little too sensitive back then. I guess I was just used to real life where, you know, if somebody said something, you confronted them, and he never meant anything wrong. I could tell now from the type of person that he is that was just his way of, you know, as they say, you hurt the ones you love. You kind of just play around and stuff, and I was just too sensitive and didn't understand that stuff. I was just very naive when it came to the internet at that time. So I could have handled things better. But one of the things I teach people in life is sometimes you have to go through pain and misery and bad things, so you can discover yourself and learn from things and maybe better yourself. So things started getting harder and harder in New York, and I got to the point where I knew it was going to be time to leave. And we didn't know where we were going to go. I had no plan. I had at the time $300 in my bank account. I had lost my DJ jobs in New York. And luckily, I collected comics, and I ended up selling, not all of them luckily, but a fairly decent chunk of some of my more valuable comics. They luckily weren't the most valuable. They were kind of mid-tier. But I ended up selling some of my comics and had enough money to be able to move us somewhere. Now, I didn't know where we were going to go. And we started talking about different states to move at, and we ended up, my wife was against moving to Florida in the beginning. And we ended up moving to Florida. Now, I never even saw the house. I didn't even know where in Florida we were going to go. And found a house in the perfect location. Now, it's no tower or anything like that. But I ended up, because of my comics, I was able to make enough money to buy this little house cash, buy this car I'm in right now cash, pay for the moving, started my own business, which unfortunately I lost due to, we'll just say, COVID and the shutdowns. But I've learned so much in the past decade, growing and learning. Because the thing is, you know, there's a difference, like I say in my videos, there's a difference between a pond and a stream. reason why streams are always clear is they're constantly moving. They're flowing and going where they're meant to go. Ponds are always full of algae and scummy kind of materials, and it's very stagnant because it doesn't go anywhere. So if you're the same person as you were 10 years ago, it means you didn't grow. You didn't learn from your mistakes. And the biggest thing about mistakes is they're only bad if you keep repeating them. And I have to say that talking to Cory after, like I said, we haven't spoken in probably over 5 years, is that we almost kind of just like we hadn't talked in a day. We just went right into a conversation. And I'm actually going through, and I won't get into it, I'm going through a very serious, possibly life-changing event that I learned about just yesterday. And I was very depressed yesterday, and not sure how I feel today. It has nothing to do with current events that are going on in the world, so you don't have to worry about that. But I'm learning that sometimes life hands you lemons to see what you'll do with it. And I really would like to think I've grown a lot and changed as a person. I've really learned about, the quantum physics, quantum mechanics, learning about alternate universes and how you can change your reality and things like that. Things that many people may not know about, may not like or agree, or may be too afraid to look into. And it's changed my life. It hasn't made everything better because, like I said, there's a really bad situation that I learned about yesterday, and it's going to affect the rest of my life. But it's let me handle things. Like I used to be afraid of death. Like when I was younger, I never understood that people died. But I was never really afraid of it. But now I can't say I'm looking forward to what happens next. But when it's my time, there will be no fear. I mean, it'll kind of suck because you're leaving the place where you're familiar with, your friends and your family and your life and all the things that you're used to, and you're going into what seems at the moment the unknown. So that's always going to be something that you want to grasp and hold on to it as long as you can. But I just think my life, no matter what happens, I'm very proud of the direction I've gone. I'm very proud that I spend my days taking care of 15 stray cats to the point where not one of them is feral. You could most of them pick up and hold on to, and they're alive because of me. My wife has been standing by me all these years, and even with the things I'm going through, she just has a no give up attitude, and that means everything to me. So I think in the past 10 years I've changed dramatically, but I'd have to say for the better, even if things get bad, because life is what you make it. And there's going to be times you're going to be down. There's going to be times you're going to be upset. There's going to be times where things are not going your way. And you could just lay down and die, which will never fix anything, or try and make the best out of the situation, the best that you can. And trust me, I am not living the life of luxury where, I'm not living in a mansion and have everything I desire. And I'm just saying this stuff because it's easy. Like I said, as of yesterday, I learned a very bad situation which will potentially affect my life health-wise, and it's not Rovid or anything like that, but it's still going to affect my life. So I could easily just be the doom and gloom guy, but I don't want to be that way because it's not going to change it. I'm going to do the best I can with the cards that I'm being dealt, and whatever happens from here, I'll have to just wait and see where it goes. As you get older, things fall apart. That's the one bad thing in the past 10 years. If I had a time machine, I would have definitely went back in time and told my younger self 10 years ago to do certain things in my life differently. But you never know where that would have led. So maybe everything had to happen this way for the purposes of being who I am. And maybe you'll find that out for yourself. So I want to thank Cory C for this. I'm sure this is too long. Feel free to edit as much out as you want and put in whatever you think is useful. But I'm very thankful for my friends and the learning lessons I've had. Cory is a great guy. He's definitely a no holds barred, doesn't hold back his punches kind of guy. And it took me a long time to be able to understand that to the point where it's respected and appreciated. Because in this world of people sugarcoating things and being dishonest and trying to take advantage of people's naivety or trusts over profit, it's nice to have somebody that will tell you how it is, because sometimes that's what we need to hear. So much respect, and to those that have been following me for all these years, I really appreciate everything. I'm not done yet, and here's to the hopefully next 10 years. Thanks for watching, everybody.